Hi, and welcome back to another episode of Feeding My Smallest Worm Bin. I believe they are getting their 5th or 6th feeding today. Hopefully I'll have that correct in the title so that we won't be unspecified there, but it's been a good 2 weeks since we fed this poor little bin. As we look at this little temperature gauge, we're sitting about 74, 76. This is a small 7-gallon mini tote with no holes. I leave the lid off and it's ventilated, so no issues with getting any oxygen. But this bin originally was bought to be a breeder bucket, and unfortunately it got taken over as a small worm bin when the original worm bin had the flooding disaster. So let's pull out our little temperature gauge. Earlier in the week, since it had been 2 weeks since we fed them, I came in and I put a stale roll in here, and here is one of my dragon fruits that didn't pollinate. Poor David Bowie, yeah, for some reason it didn't take to its own pollen, and the worms are going to get to enjoy it as a little treat. There's some carrot greens and I stuck in here. I harvested 2 of my carrots from the garden to see if they were getting any sweeter. The good news is they're not bitter. The bad news is they just aren't sweet yet. So we're going to give them another week or 2 to finish growing. These are fingerling carrots that were supposed to have a 40 to 60 day finish time, and I planted them, oh boy, June. I planted them June in the big garden, and unfortunately the carrots took off great. I mean, the greens, the greens were 1.5 feet tall. There were lots of greens, and unfortunately, the fingerling carrots were just like little babies. So we've just been pushing off with the summer heat. We decided to let them go through the summer. So my fingerling carrots are currently 90 to 120 days in the ground, and they're finger size, but they're just not. They don't have any sweetness to them, so I'm hoping that we'll give them another week or 2 to harvest, and hopefully we'll be able to get some sweetness into them. So let's move this stuff out of the way. It doesn't look like any of the wormies are going after the bread yet. It's not totally hard. It's not totally soft. It's not wet. So I need to do stuff. Let's dig down in the material and see how the wormies are doing. Hey, wormies! Wormies are on the top. There's a nice sized wormy on the fork. Some more wormies. Yeah, a good amount of wormies working through the cardboard. They've done a really good job. I did put a little bit of a handful of the cardboard in there as well when I had popped in. Let's dig down and go to the bottom, pull up a scoop. Yeah, the wormies are working it very well. I am really surprised at how fast these wormies are turning this cardboard into recycled products. The bin is doing great moisture wise. Not seeing any issues. Moisture. Let's look at this scoop of wormies. There's a nice scoop of wormies. There's a piece of skin from a cantaloupe melon. Just they're working down the rinds to almost nothing. So these wormies are working it. Very good wormies. Very good wormies. Get down in the corner. I'm not sure what that white stuff is. I'm not sure what we fed down there the last time. Hey, wormy. Alright, well, we can move that. There's some other skins from a melon. Let's move their feeding greens down over there. We can move that piece of bread, move that over. All right, let's get down into this corner. I'm gonna run myself off the rake so I can get another scoopy. Yes, they are. The moisture level's a little, the good amount of moisture in this castings and cardboard material. Nothing to complain about, but it could, yeah, we could be borderline getting on the really moist side. It's very sticky. But the wormies are happy. They're gonna like the area to be moister than drier, so definitely can't complain. The bin is helping holding its moisture in really well, despite the lid being cracked open. Yeah, lots of life moving through the bin. Let's take another. Let's move the roll over. Let's move the dragon fruit down and let's pull back and see how this other corner. There is the stalk of one of the romaine romaines from earlier on. They're working it. There's a worm in the middle. The big bin, my 40-gallon bin has a majority of those stalks that it received. Yeah, they see the leaf from our feeding with the corn cob leaves, and they have not worked through that. That's a pretty slow composting item. If you ever have corn on the cob leaves, do yourself a favor and put them in the compost pile and not the worm bin. They take a long time to process. It's not looking bad. The bin has some cardboards left. The Burmese are working through the material and they're all throughout it, and they're looking happy. Very plump wormies. I don't want to make this into a 20-minute long feeding video, so let's get this other corner aerated over here and get this stuff mixed in. We're going to be giving the wormies some more bedding to work on. I'm not seeing any of the feeding stuff except for that white thing, whatever that was down in that corner from 2 weeks ago. The wormies are doing their job in this bin, and there's quite a few of them in here. I know, guys, I'm going kind of quickly. Did just bump into something. There we are. We bumped into a peach. This is a peach. I don't think that it was a frozen. No, it's an apple. Or no, it's a peach or a nectarine. I can't remember. I did smell it when we did bump into it. It does have a little bit of a, not a putrid smell, but it's yeah, not a pleasant smell. I don't see any fruit fly activity in the bins, which is happy to definitely notice. So we're going to cover that thing back up, and we'll pull that sticker off after the wormies work it over a little bit more. I believe they're called Moonglow nectarines. I don't know. I'm a peach person and not a nectarine person. So yeah. So let's get some cardboard in this system. I'm gonna put you guys on the tripod for a little. And we're gonna be going back to, we got a good healthy, let's talk about their feeding. Today on the menu, we have a bag with some frozen peaches and some fresh peaches. We have some carrots. We have some kiwis. that were frozen and now are thawed. And we have a bag full of cucumber that was not, yeah, it wasn't human food. It was, it's definitely worm food. There's our bowl of coffee. Let's get to it. Okay, there's the bin. You guys watch the bin when I grab the bin. Give them a couple scoops of bedding. Actually, I want to dig a little pit in the middle. Hey, camera. Alright. Sorry, tripod. Didn't mean to shake you guys up. I know you prefer to be stirred. Let's make a path in the middle, and we'll feed kind of right there, underneath. That way I have something to bury it with. Okay. Okay, back to the tripod. Stay vertical. Alright, so they're going to get a few carrots. They are going to get some frozen cucumber, now thawed. Not completely thawed, but there's also a piece of pepper I'm throwing in. A piece of green pepper. And some frozen cucumber. Thawing cucumber. It's mainly, cucumber is a fast item. They're going to tear through it. It's mainly water. And this system really don't need that much more water, so we're not going to give them much more than that. We will give them a kiwi. That's the bottom end of the kiwi, so hopefully when we come back we'll find a nice little worm party going on inside there. We will give them a piece of fresh peach. While I'm here, I am gonna tear this skin open so that they can get to it easier. Once the fruit part like kind of dries out and seals itself, it makes it difficult for the wormies to be able to get through. So I like to, I don't know, kind of tear through the skin of the peach because they're really tough and resistant to penetration. And yeah, they don't want the worms getting into the peaches before the people take them off the tree. So yeah, you gotta break up the skin on your peaches and your nectarines so that the wormies can climb between the skin and the fruit and eat it, eat the fibers and the goody stuff, the faster stuff. And then yeah, the skin and that stuff will turn into the slow composting stuff that will take a little bit longer. All right, I think that's gonna be it. We're not gonna go crazy on the coffee. I don't want to heat the bin up. The bin's in the the 60s. We'll give them a good little taste. Some carbon. Oh no, coffee, not carbon. Just a little bit. We have some seashell and basalt rock dust to be used as grit in the bin. And I believe that will conclude their feeding. Let me just pull some of this stuff over. And get some more. Make sure the peaches and the fruit are covered. We're gonna add some more. We're gonna add some more bedding. No wormies on the rake. Rake can go sit. Let's get another scoop of bedding. And I think that's going to conclude our feeding of our Smartless Worm Bin's 5th feeding. Thank you guys for checking out the channel, and thank you for all the new subscribers. We're really getting close to that 50th subscriber. I'm so excited. So excited that we may be able to go live tomorrow and now this weekend, and maybe show you the construction of my woodpile compost heater for this here greenhouse. My plans is to move a big pile of wood out back of the back door of this greenhouse on a big wood platform. I plan to build a good sized wood pile. And in the middle of that wood pile, I'm going to have some a big 50-gallon barrel lined with 3/4 inch pecks, and we're going to try to pull heat off of that compost pile and push it through a heat loop in this underneath this rock. I got a heat loop. You can see let me zoom you out there. If you look down there in front of the heater, you'll see that blue line. That's one of my exposed heat loops. There's 3 or 4 or 5 loops of this 3/4 inch pecks around the outside perimeter of the rock that heats up that rock. And yeah, that's how I keep this place warm and keep the pots warm at least 60 degrees all year. I run last year I ran electricity to keep that warm, and that was expensive, so that didn't work out very long. So yeah, we got the compost pile out in the back. Hopefully, well, we're putting the compost pile out back to use that heat to pump through the line. And I also have a Modine heater that a friend is gifting me that hopefully will help me put some radiant heat back into the air without paying for it. Okay, that's going to conclude our 5th feeding or 6th feeding. I'll have it correct in the title of my mini worm bin. Thank you so much for watching, and please hit that subscribe and leave comments. Bye bye now.